Personal minimums. We all have them. We all use them, and hopefully we challenge them from time to time. But I recently encountered something, and this video that's playing in the background is what I encountered. I went to a little fly-out event, and on the way home, I was anticipating some light turbulence, some winds. I had a headwind, but what I got was a level of turbulence that I've never flown in before. And I've hit light turbulence, I've hit some mountain waves and some rotors, but this was non-stop, just persistent, light to moderate for a Cessna 150 turbulence, constant shaking. And I reached a point a little more than halfway through the flight that I realized that I was getting very tired. Fatigue was starting to set in, and I was thinking to myself, God, how do you establish a personal minimum for this? How do you quantify something like fatigue that's coming on during a flight, right? It's hard to plan for it because a lot of factors can affect that. You know, how much sleep you got the night before, what you've eaten that day, you know, how much activity you've done, lots of factors. And so I thought, I could tell myself that I knew that if I was on a long trip or if I had multiple legs, that I would definitely be stopping to take an extended break or even maybe continuing my trip till the next day. So I thought, okay, well, that's a pretty easy one. But I was just headed home. And home was only about an hour and 20 minutes away, and I could see it. I could see the city before I get to my airport. So I knew I was going to get there. But then I started questioning myself. And unfortunately, I lost all the GoPro video or the audio for this. My cable got knocked loose, so I don't really remember what my thoughts were at the time. But I remember hearing a lot of other pilots calling up ATC to pick up flight following. And then with just several minutes later, they were returning. And the conversation, all of them went, you know, Archer, such and such, we're going to go ahead and head back. ATC follows up with do you need assistance on the ground? And every single person came back with negative. This turbulence is just more than we want to deal with. So people were just like rubbing out their flight. I'm assuming a lot of them were training flights or people going maybe on sightseeing flights and thought it's not worth fighting over this. So I tried to come up with this idea, and I really couldn't come up with anything solid. And I'm hoping that maybe some flight instructors or some other people might have some insight on how they establish their own set of minimums, or what would you do in this scenario? There was no structural risk to the plane. It wasn't like violent shaking. It was just, you'll see, if you pay attention to the tail in this video, you can just see there's lots of movement. And it was over an hour of this. And when I got home, I slept for a long time. So, you know, comment. I'm really curious to start a conversation and see, what would you do if you were here? What have you experienced, or what have you been told by your instructors? I really would like any kind of feedback to talk about this.